everybody. Welcome in once again to another edition of Inside the Lions Den. We're talking a little more lacrosse here this afternoon as I am joined by Rebecca Kinsley, one of the newcomers to this Queens lacrosse program. But now this Queens women's lacrosse program has seen their first ever number one ranking in the IWLCA. Of course, the second time they've been ranked number one in the Nike poll. But Rebecca, you were the offensive player of the week in the South Atlantic Conference this past week. And so a big congratulations. It's been a lot of fun to watch you guys early in the season.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about that. You came into this program here this year and, of course, have made a name for yourself, to say the very least, garnering this award last week. Came off a 2-0 record, was there for the Mars Hill game. You guys were on the road against Wingate earlier in the week. You came away with 6 points, 2 goals, 4 assists on that game. And then you had 8 points against Mars Hill with 3 goals, 5 assists. And I know that's been a big thing about your game, is not just the scoring aspect, but what is your offensive approach in terms of the way you play behind the cage?
I think getting everyone involved is super important, not just having one point of attack, kind of getting everyone involved, moving the ball well, and not just having, certain people always dictating the offense, keeping everyone engaged and making sure that we're kind of attacking from all angles.
Sure. I mean, you guys have a plethora of weapons, of course. It seems like everybody who steps on the field can score, no matter what their actual position is, if you will. But, looking at your career in general, you started at Stony Brook. You came here as a graduate transfer. What was the decision behind coming down here to Queens? I know probably a little bit better weather than Long Island. No offense to Long Island. I know that's your home. That's your home in general. But as someone who grew up in Syracuse, New York, it is nice to have this kind of weather this time of year.
Yeah, it's definitely nicer weather. Especially, I don't really miss the winters too much, so it was a lot better down here this
That's
winter.
fair.
But kind of deciding when to come here, I had gotten in touch with Coach Claire, kind of, I'd say pretty late in the summer. It wasn't the most ideal time, and I would have liked to had figured things out sooner than
Sure.
they did. But I had come down here for his visit after I kind of decided earlier in the year that I wanted to go elsewhere because they didn't offer what I wanted to do over at Stony Brook.
Gotcha.
And I figured since I did have the opportunity with the extra year of eligibility from COVID, I might as well, take advantage of it.
Sure.
Have another year of schooling or 2 years of schooling under my belt and play lacrosse as well. So once I came down here for the visit, I really liked it, really liked the girls and just the whole thing. The city of Charlotte in general is just so awesome.
Sure.
And then the team is just amazing. So, yeah.
Well, looking at that, and I know that's something that Coach Short always, really promotes, is the fact that she wants this team to be as big of a family as humanly possible. And I know the other young ladies I've talked to on the team have said just that. But, what is it that stood out to you about this family atmosphere since you've stepped foot on campus?
I think something I was worried about coming into a different program than I was the past 4 years is just like how I kind of fit in. I didn't want to be like, just the graduate transfer that's there at
Sure.
practice and doesn't really hang around with anyone. But just being on campus with everyone even and hanging out and just it felt like I've been on the team for 4 years now. Everyone just welcomed me in with open arms and it's just been amazing so far.
Well, and I don't know if anybody told you this, but of course, coming in the position you play, you had some pretty big shoes to fill. A couple of All-Americans, of course, exiting the program last year due to graduation of Rachel Parrott and Allie Blood. But you have, of course, stepped right in and taken over. 26 goals, 22 assists up to this point in the season. Looking at this team, what do you think has been the biggest couple of keys to the success so far?
I think the camaraderie and just kind of the chemistry we have together. Like you mentioned before, just like that family aspect, I think it just correlates well on the field and
Sure.
kind of everyone wants each other to do well. And it's not so, we're not playing so selfish. Everyone's playing selfless on the field and wants to get everyone involved.
Yeah. And, going back, I talked about your style of play, wanting to get everybody involved in the field. What goes into that decision-making process in the moment in terms of, okay, I should be looking for somebody to pass or I'm going to take this one myself?
I feel like it's kind of more in the moment. I don't even know how to
Sure.
describe it really. It's kind of just what I'm seeing.
Intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of keeping my head up and seeing what would kind of be the best, best possible decision in terms of dodging and passing or kind of just moving the ball. But I think it's kind of pretty much instinct within the moment.
Sure.
Kind of years of repetition going through it and the different opportunities that can come out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one of those things. Sometimes that's as simple of an answer as you need it to be, because it is that intuition that in the moment, some things that some people will just never quite get to. But like you said, the years of repetition and continuing it on. Just out of curiosity, I realize you're a Long Island native, so I understand how you got into the sport. But at the same time, what is it that you drove you to lacrosse, and what have you loved so much that you wanted to continue on your career?
Mhm. So growing up, I was playing in the backyard with my brothers since I don't know as long as I can remember.
Sure.
But I'd say basketball and lacrosse were my two main sports. But just growing up, just playing lacrosse with my brothers and kind of having a stick in my hand since I don't know, probably the age of 5 or 6.
Fair enough.
Um, but
Sounds
just
about right.
being on Long Island, it definitely gave me a better opportunity with lacrosse rather than basketball.
Fair.
Just like yeah, I kind of the atmosphere and everything that was going on Long Island. It's such a big sport there, and kind of helped me just make my deciding factor a little bit easier in terms of deciding whether basketball to continue on after high school. But yeah, just growing up playing lacrosse with my brothers was definitely a big part of it.
Well, you look at kind of you're from that hotbed of where lacrosse really kind of blew up, but now looking at it in the Southeast, and we were talking about this in the men's game the other day, that, and honestly the women's game as well, that the South Atlantic Conference, albeit in the Southeast, might end up arguably being the best conference for lacrosse in the nation. And so, which is a decidedly weird swing from what it was even just a decade ago, with the way this sport has exploded in the Southeast. As someone who came down from that hot spot to now the Southeast, and you've seen what this game is, especially in this conference, how cool is that for you to kind of be in on that almost ground floor of really trying to excel the sport down here?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, I'm a big proponent of growing the game, and I've done things with the MLL and the PLL, and have gone to Atlanta, have gone to Texas to do different things and photograph different professional games there. So kind of just seeing it from my own eyes, even being a part of the game in a different area rather than just Long Island,
Mhm.
has been awesome to see. And just seeing like the kids that came out to the Crown Classic was awesome as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, such a cool thing for this program to be a part of an event like that. And of course, sky's the limit right now for you guys. #1 in the nation, undefeated, and trying to run that table and bring home the first national title. And I know whether you've been here for 6 months or if you've been here for 6 years, that is 100% the goal going into this season. And you guys are off to a great start. So, Rebecca, I appreciate you joining us. Go out, enjoy the rest of your week. Best of luck at Lenore-Rhyne this weekend. And then, of course, coming up next week, we'll see you back here against Tusculum next Saturday on April the 2nd. But either way, thanks so much. We appreciate it. And congratulations again on the nod for Offensive Player of the Week.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
No worries. All right, that'll do it for another Inside the Lions Den. Go out and enjoy the rest of your day, folks. As always, I'm Mike Glennon for Rebecca Kinsley. This is Inside the Lions Den on the Queen Sports Network. And as always, go Royals.